Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am here today with my July TBR. I've said this every month this year, but I can't believe that this is my TBR for like actual July. Like, what do you mean we're already nearly in July? Anyway, we're going to be using the TBR jar again this month. I do want to refresh this. I do want to add some new prompts. So I think probably between now and next month I will refresh the jar, but for today we'll use the prompts that we've already got in here. So without further ado, let's choose our first prompt. A book with a blue cover. I always realise that I don't show you these. It's because I didn't cut them very well and my handwriting is quite hard to read anyway. But that does say a book with a blue cover. So just to talk you through the TBR cart, these books at the top are my priority TBR, so these really should be the ones that I am picking first to read. These are the ones that I don't have a specific time of year I want to read them. I'm quite excited about most of these. They're just there when I'm ready for them. And then the shelf you can't see at the bottom is books that either I want to take on holiday ideally, or there's ones on the back of that shelf that I want to read purposely like in the winter towards the end of the year. So we're predominantly choosing from the books that you can see, but we do have quite a lot more at the bottom as well. That being said, do I want to choose this? No, not because I don't think I'll enjoy it, just because I've never heard about it. This is called 6 Times We Almost Kissed and 1 Time We Did by Tess Sharp. I don't think I've read anything from Tess Sharp, but I have heard of her other books. I've just not heard of this one. I think it's like a sapphic YA romance, which does sound appealing. I like the fact that it's sapphic. I just don't know much else about it. And I've been tentative with YA recently. I've always maintained that I love YA books, but I think the older I get and the more non-YA books I read, the harder it is for a YA book to really impress me. So I'm always tentative to read them because I don't want to read it and like shit on it when I'm not the target audience. But we will put this on the TBR and we will give it a go. Maybe this one will surprise me. It's not that I have bad expectations for YA books, it just feels unfair to read them when I know that they don't really wow me anymore because I'm nearly 27. But we'll give that one a go. Prompt number 2. I don't know, should we choose like 10 prompts maybe this month? A title with 4 words. Is that going to focus so that you can actually see it? There you go, if you can read my writing. A title with 4 words. Let's see what we've got. Okay, I know that these have both got 4 words, but neither of these are the first in the series, I don't think. So I don't think I can actually choose those. So let's go down to the second shelf. Do we have anything on here with 4 words in the title? We've only really got 2 options for this, both of which I was going to read on holiday. So we're just gonna have to choose one to read now. We've got Story of My Life by Lucy Scott and What Happens at Midnight by K.A. Walther. I think I'm going to go with Story of My Life because I read The Summer of Broken Rules by this author on holiday last year and loved it. So I feel like maybe I want to continue. Or do I? Do I want to read this now and take this on holiday? Oh, I really don't know which one to choose. I'm kind of tempted actually to change my mind and choose What Happens After Midnight. Yeah, we're going to go with this. I've been excited to read this for a while now. I am boiling in this room, by the way. Like, I need a breeze. I've been wanting to read this since like last year when I read The Summer of Broken Rules. So let's go with this one, What Happens After Midnight by K.A. Walther. And we will pop Story of My Life back on the cart. Prompt number 3. Oh, I've accidentally chosen 2, so we'll do both of them. The first one, a book from your 2025 TBR. Is that going to focus? Kind of. No, it's not really. There we go. Anyway, a book from my 2025 TBR. This is on my 2025 TBR. No, I can't. I need to choose a book from the top because I'm just neglecting them. We're going to go with this. Let's go with this Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. I've read The Invisible Life of Annie LaRue and I adored that book. So I am very excited to read more from this author. And I didn't realise, I think this is also a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And I do love a good Shakespeare retelling. So we'll go with this. I don't really know what it's about, to be honest. They're heirs to a divided city. Okay, so it's giving like fantasy, but maybe with a bit of a dystopian sprinkle in there. You might guess I like to go into books blind, so I don't really talk about what books are about in these TBR videos. I'm sorry if that's annoying. But I do like to go into our books quite blind. So yeah, let's put this Savage Song. I think that makes it 3 YA books so far. So that's great for me. A book by a new to you author. I don't know why this isn't focusing properly. Anyway, A book by a new to me author. Okay, let's just clear out this top shelf. I usually deliberate more than this in my TBRs, but I really want to clear this top shelf. Fire with Fire. Who is this by? Destiny Soraya. And I have no idea, shock, what this is about. I think it's about sisters. Yeah. So these sisters, they were born to kill dragons. Okay, I like dragons. But okay, the sisters are very different. One of them meets a dragon and ends up forging a rare and magical bond. So I'm assuming she doesn't want to kill him. Okay, up the dragons. Let's read that. I fear this video is going to be boring because I don't know what these books are about. Anyway, how many was that? 4. Prompt number 5. A one-word title. I already know what I'm going to have to pick, and I don't want to pick it. We're going to have to choose this. I did start this like a few months ago and put it down about 10 pages in because I was so bored, but I promised myself that I would try again in case I wasn't just in the mood for it. I tend to like to do that. I don't tend to like to just straight up DNF a book unless there's something objectively wrong with the book or it's like wildly offensive. Obviously then I'll just DNF, but if it's just maybe I'm not in the mood for it, I like to give books another chance. So let's do that. This is a dystopia, Wool by Hugh Howey. Is that how you pronounce his surname? And basically all that happened so far in the 10 pages I read was this man was walking up loads of stairs. I think basically the concept is the people in here live in a tower and they don't go outside. They're not allowed to go outside. That's all I know. There's loads of stairs and they can't go outside. I suppose I'll find out more when I try and read it this month. Prompt number 6. Apologies if the angle has changed. My stories just got full while I was showing you that prompt, but it did indeed say a book with a green cover. Let's see what we've got. Again, I would go for this because it's kind of a bluey green, but it's not the first book in a series. I need to look into this series more and figure out how I'm actually supposed to read it. We've got Wild Side, but it's the 3rd in a series and I haven't read these 2, so we can't really go with that. Is this kind of green? But again, I don't know which one you read first out of these 2 Hannah Bonham Young books. This is kind of, that's not green. Do I even have, okay, I do have a book with a green cover. Shielded. Who is this by? Caitlin Flanders, another YA fantasy that came in a fairy loot box. Do I know what it's about? Obviously not. There's a war, they're losing. Oh, princess. Okay, we've got royalty. I do like royalty. We've got a second-born heir to the throne. Okay, cute. I do love a royalty fantasy. So let's see. Shielded by Caitlin Flanders. 4 more. I'm speeding through this because I'm boiling. I've had to close the windows to film this and it's just vile. What is this? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7. A book by an author who shares one of your initials. Is that going to focus? I don't understand why this won't focus properly today. So my initials are PRH. Okay, there actually weren't that many options on my TBR cart. We've got 2 books by Hannah Bonham Young. Whichever one of these comes first in this series, I will read this month. Or I will at least put on my TBR for this month. I'm filming this on my phone, that's why I'm not looking this up, by the way. I'm not just trying to be obtuse. I have no other device to look this up on. But I'm going to, straight after I film this, look which one of these comes first, and whichever one it is, I will be reading it, or trying to read it. Prompt number 8. A book you bought because of BookTube. Okay, that is quite a large proportion of my TBR. Oh my god, I don't understand why. You're just going to have an element of trust that these prompts say what I'm saying that they say. Because... oh, okay. The problem is now that a lot of the books on my TBR I actually didn't buy because of BookTube. They are popular on BookTube, but most of these now are from like recurring authors that I've read from before. So I'm now buying them because I love the author, not just because they're on BookTube. I think what I might do, I might go with Twisted by Emily McIntyre, just because I didn't like the first one in the series, loved the second one, didn't like the third one. So I'm really intrigued to carry on with this series and see if the second one was just like a blip that I loved, or if it's just some of the series is going to be for me and some isn't. So I think we'll go with this. I definitely did hear of this for the first time on BookTok/BookTube. So we will go with Twisted by Emily McIntyre. If you don't know, this is a series of like Disney reimaginings, almost like fractured fairy tales. Basically the villain of Disney tales, they are the main characters in these books. It's like the villain A is the main character and the villain gets the girl. And the girls tend to be quite morally grey. And actually in the last one, the girl was the villain. So both characters tend to be morally grey. And all the ones that I've read, I'm saying boy and girl, by the way, because all the ones I've read so far in this series have been like straight romances. Hopefully one of them is sapphic, that would be nice. But I don't think this one is one of them. I also don't know what this one is a retelling of. I'm probably being dumb, like it's probably really obvious what this is a retelling of. But anyway, Twisted by Emily McIntyre. 2 more prompts to go, I think. Okay, next, an audiobook. Okay, I think I already know what I'm going to go with for this one. I recently got the audiobook for Silver Elite by Danny Francis, so we're going to go with that. I've been wanting to read that anyway, so this is a perfect excuse to like force myself to read it in July. So Silver Elite, I think people, it's a dystopia, but I think from the impression I'm getting from people, it's more of like a fantasy dystopia, not like a Hunger Games full-on, like straight up dystopia, but we'll see. And then our last prompt for July, a book with 400 plus pages. Get out, shut up. Is that, you can kind of see that, I think. Okay, a book with 400 plus pages. I'm gonna go and have a look through and I'll get back to you once I found one. That was a quick and easy decision. We're gonna read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. The only reason I haven't started this series yet is because after I read Chestnut Springs, I actually decided to go back and read, what's it called? Gold Rush Ranch, her first series, before moving on to this. You don't have to, they're not overly connected. I just wanted to. So I did. These are connected to Chestnut Springs, but I don't believe these are cowboy romances. I think this one follows Willa's brother, and I'm pretty sure he lives in a city, doesn't he? I don't know if he moves as part of this. These are connected, but not as like cowboy, I don't think, as the Chestnut Springs series. So I'm very intrigued to see how I feel about that. My storage got full again, so sorry if it's changed yet again. I have nearly finished. I was just saying that a lot of the charm of Elsie Silver's books for me definitely comes from the whole like ranch setting. So I'm very intrigued to see how I'm going to feel about her writing. Not something completely different, but just a little bit different from the whole cowboy thing. And we will see how that goes. But anyway, that is my TBR for July. So we've got these books here, plus Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!